10 years in prison. That's what they said Mike Tyson got. But he walked out a completely different man. What if I told you those 3 years were the best of his life? Not just for him, but for his career. He went from a convicted fighter to a champion again, all without a single weight. How is that even possible? Picture this: a man, once a titan, now confined to a concrete box, barely bigger than a small bedroom. At 28, he weighed a staggering 285 pounds. The world believed his career was over, buried under the weight of his mistakes. But inside that cell, something extraordinary happened. He didn't just survive, he transformed. He didn't have a gym, no fancy machines, no personal trainers. All he had was himself, a small space, and a burning desire to reclaim what was lost. And he did it with a routine so brutal, so relentless, it reshaped his very being. From 1992 to 1995, Indiana State Prison became Mike Tyson's unlikely sanctuary. While the headlines screamed about his downfall, he was quietly building himself back, piece by agonizing piece. And when he emerged, lean, mean, and utterly terrifying, he reminded everyone why he was Iron Mike. Within a single year of his release, he held the WBC Heavyweight Championship once more. This wasn't just a comeback, it was a resurrection forged in solitude. So, what secrets did that concrete cell hold? How did a prison sentence become the most intense training camp imaginable? It started with the dawn. Every single morning, rain or shine, scorching heat or biting cold, Tyson ran. Not a casual jog around the block, but 8 to 9 miles. Around and around the prison yard, a relentless pursuit of endurance. No rest days. Just the rhythmic pounding of his feet on the unforgiving ground, day after day. It was a testament to his commitment, a silent declaration that he wouldn't be broken. But the true crucible, the heart of his transformation, lay within the confines of his cell at night. Imagine an 8 by 10 foot space. That's it. Barely enough room to extend your arms fully. Most men would crumble, their minds fraying in the isolation, the monotony. But not Tyson. While others succumbed to sleep, he was wide awake, his body beginning its nightly pilgrimage. For 4 hours. Non-stop. Running in place. Jumping. Stepping. All on hard concrete. Think about that for a moment. 285 pounds. A man the size of a small car, performing high-impact movements for 4 hours straight. It's almost unfathomable. The sheer force of his dedication was so immense, so consistent, that it literally left its mark. Guards noticed it. The concrete floor beneath his feet began to show indents. Were patterns. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. This was more than just exercise. It was a physical manifestation of his will. But that was just his cardio. The engine that powered his endurance. The real sculpting, the development of that legendary physique, happened in circuits throughout the day. And this is where many people shake their heads, calling it impossible. Because what Tyson achieved with pure bodyweight training, without any external resistance, defied conventional wisdom. He had something most of us only dream of: time. 16 hours a day with nothing but training, eating, and sleeping. He had the ultimate luxury, an undivided focus. He devised a system. 10 distinct circuits, spread across the entirety of his day. Each circuit meticulously designed to engage every muscle group imaginable: legs, chest, core, arms, even his neck. Every single day. And here's the part that truly blows the mind. He built that raw power and that sculpted physique with 0 weights. None. Now those 10 circuits, each one taking perhaps 20, maybe 30 minutes to complete. Do that once, and it's a solid workout for most people. But imagine doing it 10 times over. The accumulated volume, the sheer repetition, is staggering. Most athletes, even professionals, wouldn't touch that kind of volume in an entire week. When you're pushing your body to such extremes, especially with fundamental movements like squats, your own mind becomes your greatest adversary. Doubt creeps in. Wait, how many did I just do? Did I finish that set correctly? Where am I in this grueling routine? Tyson knew this mental battle was a critical part of the fight. He understood that staying on track, maintaining precision, was paramount. So, he developed a stroke of pure genius. A method that leveraged the simplest of tools, a deck of playing cards. This system made counting impossible to mess up. It tracked for him, ensuring that by the time he finished, he had completed exactly 100 repetitions. 100. No more, no less. This ingenious little system, born out of necessity and desperation, didn't stay confined to his cell. It spread like wildfire through prisons across America. Then it found its way to fighters, to athletes, to anyone seeking a brutal, effective way to train. It went viral, in a way, long before the internet even existed. It was passed person to person, whispered in yards, demonstrated in cells. So, let me show you this famous deck of cards method. All you need, truly, is 10 playing cards. That's it. Lay them out on the floor in a straight line, about 3 to 6 inches apart. It doesn't matter what cards they are. They can all be aces, or a random assortment from your kitchen drawer. You start at the first card. Squat down, pick it up, and stand back up. That's your first squat. Now you walk to the second card, that first card still in your hand. You squat down and place that first card on top of the second card. That's 2 squats so far. But you're not done with the second card yet. Oh no. You squat down again to pick up the first card, and then you squat again to pick up the second card. That's 4 squats. Now you walk to the third card, holding both cards in your hand. You squat down to place the first card. That's 5. You squat down again to place the second card. That's 6. And by the time you reach the fourth card, you're performing 4 squats to place the cards down, then 4 more to pick them all back up. Do you see the genius here? With each card you approach, you're adding more squats. The pile grows, and every time you move to the next card, you're doing more squats to place the accumulated cards down, and then more squats to pick them all back up. But here's the truly brilliant part. Your brain never had to count a single rep. You weren't standing there thinking, okay, that's 47, 48, wait, was that 48 or 49? The cards did all the counting for you. When you finished with the 10th card, you had performed exactly 100 squats. 100. No more, no less. Now, the question that's been lingering, the one you've been waiting for, what were the actual exercises Mike Tyson performed in those circuits? And how many repetitions did he do? I've been dancing around it, I know. So, let me break down what Tyson's 10 daily circuits looked like. He started with squats. But not your typical gym set of 10 or 15 reps, and you're done. This was 200 squats per circuit. 200. And remember, this is just circuit out of the 10 he completed throughout the day. So, by the end of his day, he had racked up 2,000 squats. 2,000. After the squats came the push-ups. 50 push-ups per circuit. 50. That sounds manageable on its own, right? 50 push-ups, you can handle that. But when you're doing that 10 times a day, every single day, you're looking at 500 push-ups daily. 500. Your chest and triceps would start to understand what real volume truly feels like. Then, things escalated with the core work. The sit-ups. But Tyson wasn't doing 30 or 40 and calling it a day. He was cranking out 250 sit-ups per circuit. Every single time. That's 2,500 sit-ups by the time he went to sleep. His abs had no choice but to turn into solid stone. Now in a prison cell, you don't have fancy dip bars, do you? So, Tyson used what was available, the edge of his bed frame. Hands behind him, resting on the bed frame, feet on the floor. Lowering his body down, pushing back up. Simple, yet incredibly effective. 50 bench dips per circuit. 10 circuits a day. That's 500 dips. 500. Absolutely destroying his triceps and shoulders. So when you add it all up, this is where most people stop believing the story. Mike Tyson was doing 2,000 squats, 500 push-ups, 2,500 sit-ups, and 500 bench dips. Every single day. For 3 years straight. It sounds like a myth, doesn't it? But now, here's what truly matters for. Because I know you're sitting there thinking, okay, cool story. But I'm not in prison. I have a job. I have responsibilities. I can't possibly do 10 circuits a day. And you are absolutely right. You can't do what Tyson did. Not right now. Maybe not ever. But that doesn't mean you can't adapt and use his principles. If you're a complete beginner, someone who maybe does 20 squats and feels it for the next 3 days, you're not starting with the full 10-card deck method. You start smaller. You begin with 5 cards. 5 cards gets you exactly 25 squats. That's your starting point. Do that 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Give your body time to recover, to adapt. Stick with that for a month. Just 5 cards. Then, and only then, you add the 6th card. Now you're at 36 squats per round. Keep building like that. 1 extra card every 4 to 6 weeks. Within 6 months, you'll be able to handle the full 10-card deck. 100 squats in 1 round without your legs giving out. Now, if you're an intermediate, someone who's been training for a while and can handle some volume, you can start with the full 10 cards. But only do it once. Not 3 rounds like Tyson. Just 1 round. That's 100 squats, 3 to 4 times a week. Once that feels manageable, and I mean manageable, not just, I survived it, then you add a 2nd round. And let me tell you about one of the most terrifying aspects of Tyson's physique. His neck. For reference, the average man's neck is about 15 inches. But his? I'm talking about a 20 to 22-inch neck. Tyson's neck was literally thicker than most people's thighs. You see, in boxing, a strong neck is the difference between getting knocked out cold and absorbing a punch that would drop most fighters. When you get hit in the head, your neck muscles stabilize your skull. They prevent your brain from shutting down. He only used 2 exercises for this. That's it. Every single day, Tyson would spend 30 minutes doing wrestler bridges. And if you don't know what that is, picture this. You lie on your back, plant your feet, and arch your body. So all your weight is on your head and your feet. Then you rock back and forth. It is one of the most intense neck exercises that exists. Then he did neck curls. 50 neck curls per circuit for 10 circuits a day. That's 500 neck curls daily. He'd lie on his back or stomach and just nod his head up and down for reps, sometimes using a towel for resistance, or just his own body weight. And when you're doing 500 reps a day, your neck has no choice but to grow. Because when you see someone with a neck that thick, your brain registers it immediately. Like, this guy is dangerous. It's primal. It's intimidating. And it's exactly what Tyson wanted. Back in the 1980s, under the guidance of Cus D'Amato and Kevin Rooney, Tyson followed what might be the most insane training schedule in boxing history. His day started at 4 in the morning. While his opponents were still sound asleep, Tyson was already running 3 to 5 miles. Then 10 interval sprints. Then 10 box jumps. And then, before even going back to sleep, he'd bang out 500 push-ups and 500 sit-ups. This was all before breakfast. The psychological warfare started before the sun even came up. Tyson loved knowing his opponents weren't awake, working. D'Amato believed boxing was 90% mental, and Tyson bought into that completely. But the real work began at noon. 10 to 12 rounds of full-contact sparring. No headgear. Fresh opponents rotated in every 2 rounds, so they stayed sharp while Tyson got worn down. And these weren't light sparring sessions. D'Amato's philosophy was simple: no practice fights, just fights. Sparring with young Tyson became known as a dangerous job. People got hurt. Then, between noon and 5 in the afternoon, he'd do another 4 to 6 rounds of work on the heavy bag, the speed bag, the slip bag, focus mitts, and D'Amato's willy bag. That was a special invention with numbered zones for practicing combinations. Remember those calisthenics circuits from prison? He was already doing that prison. And here's the part that sounds like science fiction. D'Amato had Tyson doing regular hypnosis sessions. During hypnosis, D'Amato would drill affirmations into Tyson's subconscious. "You're a fighting machine, Mike. The best fighter God has ever created. You are ferocious. Your intention is to inflict as much pain as possible." The mental training was just as crucial as the physical work. So, what did Tyson eat to fuel all of this? Because you can't run 8 to 9 miles every morning, do 4 hours of cardio at night, bang out 2,000 squats, 500 push-ups, and 2,500 sit-ups daily without proper fuel. And this is where I might disappoint a lot of you. During his prime years under Coach D'Amato, Tyson ate like any serious athlete would. Steak, chicken, milk, high protein to rebuild muscle, and enough carbohydrates to fuel the training. Nothing fancy, nothing exotic. No $200 supplements or complicated macro splits. But then Tyson went to prison, and his nutrition situation changed completely. In prison, Tyson had privileges. The administration gave him access to whatever food he wanted, because of who he was. He could have eaten anything. But he chose to eat primarily one thing, canned tuna. Every single day. Now you might be thinking, oh, he discovered tuna was the perfect food for fat loss and muscle building. But actually, the reason was far more practical, and honestly, kind of dark. Tyson was paranoid about his food being tampered with. Think about his situation. Mike Tyson, one of the most famous athletes in the world, locked up with inmates who might want to hurt him, guards who might not like him, people with grudges. And you're going to eat food prepared by who knows who? That's a risk. So Tyson stuck with canned tuna. Factory sealed, and safe. So no one could mess with it. Because I've just thrown a ton of information at you. Prison circuits, the deck of cards method, neck training, 4 AM runs, hypnosis sessions. And you're probably thinking, okay, cool. But what do I actually do with all of this? Here's what. First, let's be real about your situation. You're not in prison with 16 hours of free time. You're not a professional athlete with a full training team. You don't have Coach D'Amato hypnotizing you every night. You have a job, responsibilities, maybe an hour or two a day to train. So, we're going to take Tyson's principles and scale them to your life. Step 1. Pick your starting point. Remember what I said earlier. 5 cards if you're a complete beginner. 10 cards if you've got some experience. 3 times a week. That's your foundation. Once that's comfortable for a month, then you add the other exercises from the circuit. Push-ups, sit-ups, and bench dips. But scale them way down from Tyson's numbers. Start with 10 to 25 reps, depending on your level. Not 50 or 200. On your off days, add light cardio. 15 to 30-minute walks or runs. Nothing crazy. Every 4 to 6 weeks, add thing. More cards, more reps, an extra training day. One change at a time. That's how you build without burning out. Step 2. Nutrition. Keep it stupid simple. Tyson ate steak, chicken, and milk in his prime. Tuna in prison. High protein, and enough food to fuel your training. Don't overthink it. Step 3. Neck training comes later. Don't jump into wrestler bridges on day 1. That's how you get hurt. After 3 solid months of circuit training, then add 5 to 10 minutes of light neck work, twice a week. Build slowly. Tyson's 30-minute daily bridges came after years of conditioning. But here's the thing. None of this works without the one thing Tyson had in that cell, and that's discipline. Absolute, unwavering discipline. It's the engine that drives every single rep, every single mile, every single day. So, how do you start building that discipline today? What's the very first step you can take, right now, after watching this? It's not about doing 2,000 squats. It's about doing. It's about making a choice. Think about those cards. They represent progress, a measurable way to track your journey. If you're a beginner, start with 5. That's 25 squats. Can you commit to 25 squats 3 times a week? That's the beginning. That's the spark. And what about those push-ups? If 50 feels impossible, Start with 5. Maybe just do them on your knees. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. It's building the habit. The same goes for sit-ups. Start with 10. Even 5. Just get down on the floor and do them. It's the action, not the number, that matters at this stage. And for the bench dips, if you don't have a bed frame, use a sturdy chair. Or just do some floor triceps dips. Start with 5. Start with 10. The key is to start. Now you might be thinking, but what about the cardio? I can't run 9 miles. You don't have to. A brisk 20-minute walk is a fantastic start. Get your heart rate up. Feel your body moving. It's about creating momentum. The crucial part is that you take that first step. You lay out those cards, or you do those first few push-ups. You make that commitment to yourself. Because this isn't just about building a stronger body, it's about building a stronger mind. It's about proving to yourself that you have the power to change, the power to transform, no matter your circumstances. So, what will your starting point be? Will you be the beginner, starting with 5 cards and a handful of reps? Or will you be the intermediate, ready to tackle the full 10-card circuit once? The choice is yours. But the time to make that choice is now. Imagine yourself in 6 months. You've stuck with it. You've added those extra cards, those extra reps, those extra training days. You feel stronger. You feel more confident. You've tapped into a reservoir of strength you didn't know you had. That's the power of this system. That's the legacy of Iron Mike. Don't let this be just another video you watched. Make it the turning point. Make it the moment you decided to take control. What's the very first exercise you will add to your routine? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this inspiring, if you want to unlock more of your hidden potential, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. We're going to dive even deeper into mastering your mindset and building an unbreakable physique.